This is Michael Halper from Sales Scripter, and today I want to talk to you about how to use empathy to improve your sales efforts. And the place to start is, let's look at the definition of empathy. Just grab this off the internet, but empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. So applying that to sales, it would be the ability to understand and share the feelings of the prospect. Now, empathy is a really powerful and important thing to use or to embrace more in your life in all areas regarding dealing with other humans, whether it's dealing with your spouse, your child, someone in business situations, business partners. But basically, being able to understand the feelings and what someone else is going through can tell you how to handle certain situations, what to say, what to not to say, what to do, what not to do. And that can be helpful. It's really helpful in conflict type of situations, but it doesn't have to just be conflict. It could be the day-to-day routine, or it could even help you when things are going really good. Basically, empathy is similar to some sort of instrument that you might look at when you're figuring out what to do. Like you might look at your speedometer to determine, should I go faster, should I go slower? You look at a thermometer to determine, am I sick or am I healthy? Or a scale that you get on. Without using empathy, the decisions you make regarding what you do and what you say, you're making those decisions without good information. When you understand what's going on the other side of the table, whether figuratively speaking, on the other side of the table with whoever you're interacting with, when you can understand what they're going through, you have a tremendous amount more of information to make your decision on what to do and what to say. Applying that to sales, when we are making a cold call, when we're sending a cold email, when we're talking to someone in a meeting or trying to get a meeting, all these different sales situations, if we don't have that information, then we're making decisions without, it's sort of like driving a car without a speedometer. You are likely to drive too fast or to drive too slow when you're just using your gut feeling on how fast you're going. Now implement the speedometer. Now you can be much more precise and make better decisions. And in a car situation, that can lead to you avoiding accidents, avoiding irritating other drivers around you, avoiding fines and tickets. So now apply that to sales. You can greatly reduce your situations where you annoy prospects, where you push too hard or move too slowly. Whether or not you're a very empathetic, naturally person or not, the thing is, there's a saying of never judge a man until you've walked a mile in his moccasins, is a quote dating back to, I think, an Indian proverb or quote, but it's basically putting yourself in someone else's shoes. So that's the key. The first step of having empathy is, instead of just thinking about the shoes that you're in, you put yourself in their shoes, in their situation, and think about, what are they going through? What is it like? Then you can understand their feelings and understand them, and then you can digest that as information to determine what to do. That's sort of the process. So that being the case, let's put ourselves in the shoes of the prospect and try to understand a prospect. Now, most likely the prospect that you're trying to get to is a decision maker, a manager, someone with some level of authority, power, a decision-making authority. And so let's try to understand this person. So first of all, really regardless of dealing with a prospect or whoever, humans are consistent in the way that we all primarily care mostly about ourselves. That might sound negative or cynical, but think about it. And I'm guilty of this too, and even if you're an extremely empathetic person and sympathetic person, the thing you care about most is you. Your physical well-being in terms of your health, your safety, your security, and then that expands to your family and your friends. But you care about your job, your career, your money, your home, your assets, your comfort. And so now let's apply that to a prospect. Well, actually, first let's apply that to a salesperson, which is you. So the thing you care about most is selling your product. You care a lot about talking about things you're interested in, like your product and your company and your hobbies and the things that you like to do. You are interested in making money, closing sales, getting meetings, getting commissions, advancing your career. Most people are interested in finding ways to work less, meaning find ways to have more comfort in their life, whether it's physically with a home or less discomfort with having to do more work. Now let's apply that same logic. If we agree that that's what most of us salespeople are thinking about and feeling, what is it like on the prospect side? Well, it's similar but completely different with little overlap in that the prospect cares about making money for themselves, their career, their security of their job, advancing their career, getting a bonus. If they're a business owner, they're interested in the success of their business making more money. They're interested in comfort and security for themselves and their family. So interested in having a nice home, having nice assets, car, luxury items, having comfort in their day-to-day operation in terms of not having to work hard or work harder than they need to or want to. So these are the things that the prospect is interested in, and if you think about it, those don't overlap at all with the salesperson. They're exactly similar and parallel, but they don't overlap. So the prospect cares mostly about themselves, just like the salesperson mostly cares about his or her own things, interests as well. Now, the next thing is that prospects get a lot of calls and are approached a lot by salespeople. You could think of a prospect being similar to like a pretty woman at a bar. And I say a woman because in the natural world that we live in, a woman at a bar will get approached more by men than men approached by women. But picture a pretty woman at a bar with a lot, and there's a lot of men at the bar. What will naturally happen is that the men will try to talk to the woman and will often try to flirt with her, hit on her, pick her up. And after this happens, say 10 times, then the woman might enjoy the first few attempts, but after the 10th time, it might start to get annoying. And she's just trying to have a good time and have a conversation with her friend. So you apply that same thing happens to prospects in that they get approached by salespeople every day. So they can begin to be fairly annoyed when it's the equivalent of you being the 11th person to talk to that girl. The woman is a little bit annoyed, and as soon as she figures out that you're hitting on her like the other 10 guys, she will see you in a negative light and begin to shut you down. You've lost before you've even started. So applying that to selling, when the prospect gets a lot of calls from salespeople and you're the next person calling them, their guard will go up and they will be difficult, and you might have lost before you've even started. Prospects are extremely busy. It's safe to assume, especially if you're calling B2B, you're calling people that are working. If you're calling higher in an organization, they're extremely busy. So not only are they getting a lot of sales calls, they're also just extremely busy with meetings and other priorities and lots of stuff going on. The other thing is that it's most likely the case that if you're calling someone cold or cold emailing, they are likely not in buying mode looking for what you sell. So let's look at two extremes. One extreme is that they are in buying mode, which would mean when you call, they're on Amazon and they're doing a search for the product that you sell and they're reading reviews and you call, right? Wouldn't that be wonderful? They would answer your call. They would say, oh yeah, I'm actually looking at this right now. So that would be a very comfortable situation. That's an extreme. That's almost never going to happen. In order for you to time it right, that will never happen. So let's look at the other extreme. You're calling about something that they're not even thinking about, right? So while the other situation would be very easy and they would welcome your call, the other extreme is that they're not looking for what you sell at that particular time. They're not even thinking about it, most likely. Maybe it might be something that comes up from time to time. And even in that case, they're not sitting there at that particular moment when you call looking on the internet for it. So those are some things that are going on with this person. If we agree with that, and if those are safe assumptions, then we can look at that and say, okay, that helps us to understand and share the feelings of the prospect, meaning it allows us to have more empathy. Now we can use that empathy to determine what to do with this prospect. Just to respond to each of those things regarding that the prospect cares about their stuff and the salesperson cares about his or her stuff. What we can do is we can focus more on their interests and less on ours. So the less on ours would be, I'm going to talk less about my product, which is what I care about, and I'm going to talk less about selling my product to this person, again, which is what I care about, and I'm going to focus more on their interests, which are making more money, having to work less than they have to, having more job growth, job advancement, more security for them, improving the health of their business, their company, helping them to hit their bonus and their objective for the quarter or the year. So if we focus more on those things that they're interested in, we are using empathy to help us to change what we do. The other thing is that since they get a lot of sales calls and they might be annoyed by salespeople, we can try to reach out to them and not appear to be a salesperson trying to sell something. So going back to the bar metaphor, maybe we can talk to that woman, but we want to do it in a way where we don't look like we're the 11th guy trying to pick her up. We're just someone in the bar having fun, and we are starting a conversation with her and not trying to flirt with her. So the way to do that with a prospect is engage in a way where we don't look like a salesperson trying to sell something. By the way, just about everything, all of our training that we provide centers around that. So if you see that tip and you say, well, how do I send an email or how do I make a call when I am a salesperson and I am selling something? How do I do that? Watch any of our other videos, and every video and training that we do touches on that a little bit. But you can structure your emails and your calls so that, let's go back to the bar analogy. The guy that talks to the woman who doesn't want to present himself as hitting on her, he can modify what he says. She still might know that this guy might be interested in me and it might end up going in that direction, but he is not directly trying to aggressively pick her up. And applying that to sales, you can communicate with a prospect in a certain way where it doesn't look like you're a pushy, aggressive salesperson trying to sell something, more so that you're a business person or you're a consultant, and you might have a product that you represent and might ultimately want to talk to them about, but you're not coming at it from a very aggressive, pushy way. And there's ways to modify your cold emails and call scripts so that you do that. Respect their time. Since we know they're busy, we want to respect their time. And one way that I do that is I open every call with asking them, hey, did I catch you in the middle of anything? It's a very familiar tone. It's not too professional. It's something that a coworker would say to another coworker before barging in their office. So respect their time. The last thing that we try to empathize with is that understanding that they're most likely not sitting there looking to buy what we sell. So with that, we can sell and we can communicate in a way where we're not trying to sell the product, more so we're trying to sell the conversation. And also by not trying to sell the product and sell the conversation, we also help to not look as much like a salesperson trying to sell something. So a lot of these tips kind of are interweave and tie together and overlap. But that's an example of how to use empathy to understand the prospect and then to modify what we do so that we're operating in a way that aligns with the prospect feels and thinks. So I hope that helps and gives you some ideas of things to think about. Like I said, all of our other training videos and topics really touch on all of those. If you want to watch any of the other videos that really touch on these other topics, I'd encourage you to visit our YouTube channel, which has all of our training videos. There's hundreds of videos on there. We provide our full sales training methodology, which we call the Smart Sales System Training Methodology. We put it all on YouTube for free. The reason why is because at Sales Scripter we have a software application called Sales Scripter, and that's really what we are focused on, is adding more subscribers to our software platform. So we give away our training for free because we are less interested in selling training and more interested in getting new subscribers. And honestly, we believe if you watch all of our training, on YouTube, which you can do for free. And if you get through all those and you like everything we recommend and love our approach, you're probably going to love our software. So at some point, what happens is a lot of people convert over from watching our YouTube videos to becoming subscribers. So anyways, here's my information if you want to reach out to me with any questions. Thanks, and again, hope that these tips helped get you go in the right direction. Good luck and happy hunting.